365 days of horsemanship, day 242. I feel so blissed out. I would say, honestly, today's session I think is about as close to perfect as it gets, really. It's like, it's like 2 or 3 degrees up here, but it was -6 last night. I've been on the night shift. I'm on the night shift again tonight. And it is just like unbelievably lovely to be up here with the sun shining and just feel comfortable. I'm not too cold. I'm just sitting around. I just really have this feeling that the horses all feel that way as well. They've had, a couple of really long nights, like -6 last night, and, kind of like all of a sudden as well. So yeah, everyone, it's just a really lovely atmosphere up here today. I actually came up with the intention of bringing both horses up and putting them in the arena. Got my tripod out, put it in there, and off I went to Mia. And I didn't get Mia up, didn't get Lawrence up either, actually. But what I did do was have some really amazing conversations with them that really just impassioned and inspired me not to bring them up and to continue working on this, committing to the freedom-based training process and realizing and understanding that I need to put that real repetition and consistency in to get results. I think it's becoming a little bit more clear to me now how the freedom and the training interact. I had a wonderful, wonderful session with Mia. Basically, on approach, I decided, based on the conversation I'd had with her and her ears day before yesterday, I decided that I wanted to just, when I'm in flow with her, look around a bit more at the environment. I think it's quite overwhelming for her when I'm looking at her, focusing on her too much. And I also think that puts the pressure on her, or she feels like that puts the pressure on her to look around at the environment a lot. Looking around at the environment a lot, or being focused on the environment a lot, is something that she really values. And so my mindset was basically doing something that she really values, doing something that she would like me to do, to kind of build that rapport and trust. And that actually worked really nicely. And I found that really being active about looking out for mountain lions and checking out the environment meant that she actually quite quickly came and walked over towards me, like while she was grazing, but there was this real obvious sort of movement towards us being closer. So I brought the halter with me and started playing with her, offering her the halter to touch, and then once she touched the halter, then being in flow, and just being in flow for a little time until something changed. There was a different focus change, or I would offer her the halter again. And that worked out a few times, both sides. And at one point, she actually reached out to touch the halter herself, which was lovely. And it was all going super, super well. And then I offer her the halter and she doesn't take it. She just ignores it. And I'm thinking, okay, I think I need to get supportive here. So I go for a little walk, and literally just as I'm walking, I think to myself, okay, time to switch it up. Let's try a different form of supportive leadership. So I started my bouncing next to her side, started jumping, because that's my other big priority. I really, really, really just would like to get on and ride her. I really want to ride. And so I need to put the time into the preparation to get her in a place where she feels like that's okay. So then I started doing my jumping, and I could feel the tension come up. Something small changed. So I stopped, but I stopped jumping, but I stayed in the same place because I didn't really feel that it was a really big focus change, and I could still feel there was some tension there. So then I waited there, and I committed to waiting there as long as it took for things to really, really get better. Which they did, and I then sort of moved on to a different place, came around, did the same the other side, and I think I'm realizing that repetition is good within a session, actually. Like, I'm starting to kind of think about what it will be like when I'm at Elsa's. Like here, I'm really like after I get something good, I'm like, okay, that's it, done now. And actually, there's no reason to be done now if you have more time. You can always wait for the next good thing. So actually, trying to just extend that a little bit and making sure that I'm not just doing something once, I'm actually reinforcing it by doing it 2 or 3 times. And that's when the training comes in. So it's freedom based because I can mix up the training based on how she feels, and I'm not going to be in a space where oh, Mr. Lawrence having a little roll behind me. It's so nice. Bless him, he's so old. Oh, Baba Boo. I think he's knackered. He's had a very long night. Oh, bless him. That's super nice. Wasn't a bad get up, actually. I've definitely seen worse. Oh, I know. That leg hurts you, doesn't it? Okay, Baba. No, it's gonna come say hey. Hi. Yes, you can scratch on me. Nicely, nicely. Good boy. Did you not get the right spot when you were on the ground? Not quite work well enough? No. Nicely. There you go, good boy. Yes, so thinking about repetition, I had those nice couple of 2 or 3 times working with Mia on that moment, and just really allowing the time for things to get better. Like when I go to Elsa's, there will be hours and hours of opportunity, and I will need to take mental breaks during that time, of course, but I think, you know, it's also about really encouraging myself to get into the groove, understanding that actually it's repetition that teaches, and the longer the gap between repeating a new skill, the more of it will be forgotten. So back again. So yeah, I know. So that's really, I think, something that I brought to today. I ended the session, we had a really nice, I was just wandering around. I'd done my, I think, 2nd or 3rd time of jumping next to her, and I basically was just walking around, finding some really comfortable places, being in flow, giving her a little bit of time to process what we'd done. And there was a big change, you know, so the entire session we've been basically grazing and every now and again looking up at something in the environment, usually, for not very long. And this time she looked right up and across the field to a really far distance at Lawrence's head, and I looked with her, took one breath, and then left there. And it felt so perfect because she then went the other way, I went the other way. It felt like the absolute perfect moment to leave it. Such a lovely moment that we could spend together, and you know, like a real recognition of me wanting her to just engage a little bit more with things that are not kind of on the ground right in front of her face. So that was really super. Came down to see Lawrence again with the halter, and I think initially I came on really strong, and that was challenging. I'm like, oh, can we put the halter on? Can we put the halter on? Can you touch the halter? And he did touch the halter a lot, and I think I made the mistake of not giving him the flow of trying to push through. Like, he would touch the halter and then I'd wait for like a couple breaths and then I'd ask him again. Rather than really giving him the flow, I had this like sort of ulterior motive in mind where I'm like, oh, well, I want you to touch the halter because I want to put the halter on you, which is not the point of can you touch the halter. The point of can you touch the halter is can you touch the halter. Like, if I want to put the halter on, that whole thing needs to be better first. So that was tricky because I kind of messed things up on arrival and then had to get it back. But I found that with time, quite quickly, I was able to really regain the relationship. As you can see, he's very happy that I'm here now. I was really able to regain that connection, which was really lovely, by just going right back to the basics and just finding nice places of flow around where we can graze together, which was really lovely. So yeah, so it's been really nice. Like, I definitely felt good about both sessions. Lawrence just seemed really happy to be with me, which was lovely. And with Lawrence, I definitely found that I did a little bit of work on the touching distance, because what I wanted to do was bring him up so I could help him with well, his itchy spots, actually, as I'm doing now. But he wasn't that interested in that before. And I also wanted to help him just move around a little bit, you know, like his muscles and his joints are going to be really stiff. It's been really cold. And the first step to that with the freedom-based training, like where I'm at now with that, is this first yield of backwards from the chest, which is still tricky. So we started playing with that. And I think I just really feel like today I had this idea in my head that I could just magically come up and put my halters on these horses and take them into the arena and do all this stuff. And in fact, when I got there, I found that I did not want to push through past passive and supportive leadership. I did not want to go into insistence and dominance. I just wanted to work on the pieces that I'm working on at the moment to get there without going there. And I think that's okay. I think that's good. And I'm really excited to try to hone my skills with Elsa, because that's really what I would like. If I could just pause time and have no one get older and have no one get more unfit and, you know, just do this forever until I could get them there, then that would be the path I would choose, you know. For me now, like, I do feel like dominance and insistence is like a means to an end, and I really would prefer to use that as little as possible. And I think that's good. I feel like my goals and who I am as a horseman is really coming together now. So yeah, overall it's been lovely. I am gonna see what Lawrence needs from me. I'm gonna ask him about this halter again. Maybe I will be able to bring him up in the arena and let him have a little roll or something, maybe. That could be nice for him. So yeah, see you tomorrow.